Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Agrell, principal of Christ the King School, and I'm here with
Jeannie Stover, assistant principal.
And as always, we're just very happy to be with you today. Status of the school for today. Today is Monday, October 4th. Just give you a little update on that. We have 0 teachers that are quarantined for COVID-19, 0 staff members quarantined due to exposure. We do have 1 West Side support staff specialist who is quarantined because of COVID-19, and we hope to see her back very soon. We do have 1 student who is quarantined with COVID-19, and we have 1 student in the same family who is quarantined due to exposure. And the exposure, of course, happened outside of the school within the family. So far this year, and we say this a few times, but it's very, very true, that masking has really helped us keep students in school and has helped us avoid any large group quarantines. And that's really what we want. We want to keep school open. We want to keep our kids in school. And now that we're into October and we're really looking at how this has been working, it's been working very well. We're looking at the recommendations that are still out there, and they really haven't changed much at all. So we're going to continue masking here in the school through the month of October and probably into early November. But we're going to reassess at that time just to kind of see what is going on, what has changed, if anything. We know that the vaccines for the young kids, ages 5 through 11, it's on the horizon. They're talking about maybe as early as late October, but probably more like early November. We know that's going to make a huge difference. And we think that once that happens and our kids of those ages get the opportunity to become vaccinated, that we can really seriously consider starting to pull back on the masking requirement here at school. We're all looking forward to this, and I know you are too. So that's kind of where we are now. We're going to continue with the masking for right now through October and into early November. One thing I want to just acknowledge and point out is our teachers are really working really, really hard. They're really working so hard. Mrs. Stover and I, we get to see so many incredible things that are being done by our teachers in their classrooms and throughout the entire school, all throughout the school day and the school week. And our teachers, they just really have a passion for teaching, and we see that. We get in and we do a lot of observations during the week, and it's just incredible to see what is going on in the classroom. Our academic programs here at Christ the King, they're challenging, and our expectations are very high. And there's a reason for everything that we do here in the school, related to our strategies as far as what the teachers are teaching and how they're teaching it, the homework that we're assigning, the tests and the assessments that go on all the time, and even the way we grade the work that the students complete. Now, for students, it takes a lot of perseverance, and it takes some time sometimes to adjust, especially in the beginning of the school year when you're going into a new grade level or when you're going into middle school, because certainly the dynamics of middle school are very different than elementary, and it just takes some time to do this. And sometimes our kids struggle. I mean, sometimes it's really hard, and sometimes it's frustrating. And this is normal. This is perfectly normal to get used to the next grade level or get used to middle school. And it's just part of the learning process. So we ask everyone to just hang in there, to know that is something that just happens. It happens each year, and it happens all the time throughout. Well, this is my 20th year here. It's been going on for 20 years here at Christ the King. I've seen it happen. But it works itself out. Mm-hmm. The kids adjust. Things start to happen. They get used to things. They start to pick up the skills needed to overcome some of those challenges. And then they're so much better off because of that. So for you guys as parents, please encourage your kids when they get to that point, and some of them may be there, some of them may have already run through this, but encourage them to pay close attention in class to the instruction that's going on, to write down the homework assignments in the assignment notebook, depending on what grade level they're on. But they definitely start doing this in 3rd grade, and that is so important. To be organized, because really to be organized as a student, that really makes a huge difference. And just to study for the quizzes, study for the tests, and turn in everything in a timely manner, because sometimes there's a lot of things that go on The teachers, I know, they encourage the kids not to procrastinate. I know we do it sometimes, and we're all guilty of it, so we understand it's out there. But try to encourage your child not to do that, because sometimes things kind of pile up and it just adds to the stress level that already might be there sometimes with all that's going on in a school and in a adjustment period that's happening. Yeah. And for you guys as parents also, please stay positive when things aren't going right, when challenges are there, when your child gets frustrated. Encourage them to hang in there, to keep trying, to go talk to their teacher, because if we don't know something is happening or someone is struggling, it's harder for us to do anything about it. So please encourage your child to be an advocate for themselves and go talk to the teachers, especially if your child is in like 3rd through 8th grade. They can definitely get with the teacher. I know under those grade levels, sometimes you as parents have to reach out to the teachers, and we do encourage that too. We're not saying don't do that. We want you to reach out. We want to know, because overcoming difficulty and having your child get with the teachers really helps them mature and grow as a student. And it ultimately prepares them for what they're going to see when they get to high school and when they get beyond high school into college. So these skills, everything coming easy, I mean, we're going to hit the road. We're going to hit the wall sooner or later. So work with your child through that process, because it will happen and it is normal. And there's so many things that you can do to encourage them to find the resources, get with their teachers, and work through it, and it will make them stronger in the end. So, and we're not saying that everything is that way. Sometimes there are real problems that maybe won't get worked out without some intervention. But we want you to try all those things first before reaching out for something beyond that. So, but just know that our teachers, they're here to help. They want your child to come see them. They want to work with them. And a lot of the times the teachers are noticing things too, and they're working with kids already. But please set up that communication between your child and teacher, because that is so important. The next thing is the end of the quarter is actually coming up, and it's here.
It's here.
It's hard to believe that it came so fast. But the end of the quarter officially ends on Friday, October 15th. And once again, encourage your child to turn in all their assignments before the end of the quarter, because once the quarter is done, the quarter is done. Unless there's kind of absences at the end of the quarter or some kind of extenuating circumstances that we certainly do understand. And report cards, they're going to come out on Friday, October 22nd. And then our first quarter recognition rally is going to take place on Wednesday, November 3rd at 2:30 in the gym. We're looking forward to that.
It's my first one.
Yep. And really it's been the first one we've had in over a year. Yeah. Really, it's been a long
months.
time. Yeah, it
It's
is.
been a while.
So we are looking forward to doing that again, and we do invite parents to come and join us for that. Because at those recognition rallies, we're going to recognize our kids that have earned honor roll for the first quarter. We're also going to recognize our students, and there are many of them, and Mrs. Stover will talk about this in a little bit, that have filled their merit cards. And this applies to students in the 3rd through 8th grade. Also, we have our Kind Kids program that Mrs. Martin, our school counselor, is running. And so we'll recognize our Kind Kids that have been nominated for a Kind Kid Award. And also our Crusader Kudos.
Crusader Kudos.
Yes, that's sometimes hard to say on a Monday morning,
Yes.
or Monday afternoon rather. But that program and the Crusader Kudos card has really been a hit, and we're going to recognize those students that have received that award as well. So once again, please feel free to join us, and that is November 3rd at 2:30 in the school gym. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Stover, who is going to talk about some of those positive recognition programs that we have going on this year.
So we are off to a great start with our recognition for our students. The positive, it's been great to see so many of our students earn those positives. And this year, and the entire school staff has really been making an effort to find and make note of those positive behaviors at our school. As of Friday afternoon, we have a total of 51 students from 3rd grade through 8th grade that have filled a merit card, and some of them have even filled 2.
Yes, they have. Yeah, and that's amazing. That really is great. Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of them just a merit or 2 away to fill those cards. So I'm really excited to see what October is going to bring for us.
Yeah.
this year the students are really stepping up to the challenge and to definitely taking notice of this by the teachers. The Crusader Kudos have been quite the hit. We've talked about that a lot this year. It is a joy to have those kids coming up to our office to earn a little extra treat from us, but also have a positive office referral to come
Exactly.
down, see what we do. They're always excited to be in our offices. Each day, we will announce their names if a student does receive a Crusaders Kudos or those students that have filled their merit cards. But I highly encourage those parents, when your child comes home with a Crusader Kudos, it's usually a small card, purple or yellow. Use it as a talking point and really work on them and their positivity and their self-worth at school and how they can make a change every day in our classrooms. So keep up the great work, Christ the King students, and hopefully we'll get some more in before that rally.
Oh, I think we will.
Oh,
I'm sure
definitely.
we will. I'm sure we will. Okay, thank you, Mrs.
Yes.
Stover. Appreciate it. And one thing that we're adding in starting today is we've got some fantastic new teachers here.
We
at
do.
Christ the King. And Mrs. Stover is of course a new staff member as well, and you've met her and you've seen her in all these videos. So
YouTube famous.
yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. But we want to give you an opportunity to meet some of the rest of our new staff. And we're going to start out, we're calling it the Spotlight on New Christ the King Teachers. And this is our first one that we're doing. And so I'm going to invite Mrs. Wooden to come into the picture
Come on down.
and join
Hello.
our video.
Hi,
And,
everybody.
and Mrs. Wooden, she teaches kindergarten.
Yes.
Okay, and we're in her room today. I should have said that from the very beginning.
Yes.
Mrs. Stover is a former kindergarten
I
teacher a
am.
long time ago, so she probably feels very at home.
Mhm.
I know, in these little
here.
chairs.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Little chairs.
Yep.
So we're very happy to have you with us today, Mrs. Wooden. And
Thanks
I want
for
to
having
ask a couple of questions.
Absolutely.
Okay. So how many years have you been teaching kindergarten?
This is my 7th year teaching kindergarten. I taught for 6 years at another Catholic school teaching kindergarten. So I've kind of discovered that kindergarten is kind of my sweet spot, and I don't think I'll ever leave it.
Well, kindergarten's always a happy place.
Yes.
Whenever I'm having a tough day, I try to come by at least to look and see what the kindergartners
What they're
do.
doing.
Oh, yeah.
Because
There's always
some really cool
Yep.
things going on.
Something going on.
always something interesting happening.
Exactly. So, what do you like best about teaching kindergarten? Maybe you already answered that just now. but
No,
what-
that's a
what do you
great
think?
question. Well, I mean, there's so many answers I have, but I think the first thing that comes to mind is I love at this age how curious they are, and how they're curious and full of wonder about everything, and it just makes for a fun teaching environment because they're just soaking everything up and they're excited to learn. They're so loving and forgiving at this age. And of course, they're super unfiltered, so it makes for a lot of comic relief
That is true.
throughout the day.
I bet it does. Now, I filled in for Mrs. Martin today
Yes.
during the kindergarten through 2nd grade lunch period.
Oh.
And I can tell you that, yes, I mean, they are just full of energy,
Mhm.
and you just truly never know
Mhm.
what a kindergartner
Oh,
is
yeah.
going to say or
No.
going to ask. So
You could plan out every second, and it's never going to go that way. And that's what makes it great.
I
It's
bet
the beauty of it.
Yeah.
And last question, what have you enjoyed about Christ the King since you started teaching here?
So it's been a rather big transition for me. Even though I came from kindergarten at another Catholic school, but just the first thing that stands out to me is just getting to know the staff and all, and not being the only new teacher. It's been fun to be kind of thrown in with more new teachers and learn the ropes with them. I've loved getting to know all the staff members. They've been super welcoming and sweet, and another thing that stands out is all the support I'm getting from my interviewers
Okay.
at school.
Okay.
It's been wonderful. I feel very supported and welcomed here, and I love my classroom. It's huge and lovely,
Beautiful.
and I feel so lucky in that way. It's been a pleasure joining the Christ the King team.
Well, Mrs. Wooden, we're very happy to have you on our team. You are just off to an amazing start, and I know the kindergartners are in really good hands in this classroom with Mrs.
they are.
Wooden. So
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you're doing so
Yes.
far. And
Yes.
thank you for joining us.
Yes, happy to be here.
First teacher to be interviewed
Right.
on camera. So I'm going to ask Mrs. Wooden just to kind of stay put while
Sure.
we just finish
Yeah, we'll
up the
finish it up.
video.
Sounds
and
good.
now I'm going to turn it back over to Mrs. Stover, who's going to talk about the high school placement.
Wow. I can't believe we're talking about this already.
I know. It's right around the corner.
Eighth grade-
January.
I know.
That's when it'll be.
8th grade parents, I know that you're thinking we just started 8th grade, but now we have to start prepping for that next stage. High school and high school entrance test prep sessions. The entrance exam will be in January, but before that, we are going to have Mr. Clements, the 7th and 8th grade math teacher, and Mrs. Carnes, our 7th and 8th grade language arts teacher, help team up to offer some prep sessions for these students. It is going to be 5 Fridays after school on November 5th, 12th, 19th, December 3rd, and December 10th. So registration and more information will be coming out soon to those 8th grade students. But on top of the entrance exams, we have those high school visits coming up too.
I know. First one tomorrow.
First one's
I mean,
tomorrow.
yeah. High school is right around the corner
I
for
know.
8th graders. There's so much still to learn.
There is.
They may not think so, but there's so much
Yeah.
for them to still do in this school year. And we wanted to go ahead and throw those dates out there just so you could maybe put them on your calendar if you are interested in your child getting into these test prep sessions. They're well worthwhile. We have been doing them for a number of years, and we're very blessed that our teachers are willing to do this. So, but it does help. And it really gives the kids an idea of what's coming up on that
on those
entrance test. And there's nothing worse than going in there cold and you're just discovering for the first time when you're taking that assessment, that test, what's going on. So if you can be prepping for it and go through a number of practice tests and the teachers are kind of explaining some of the reasoning behind the questions or how to figure out some of those answers, you really do see that it helps out a lot. So,
Very beneficial. for
so
them.
yeah, so Mrs. Stover, thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that with
Yes.
us. And really, when those registration forms come out, you'll hear more about them, and then you can get them in. And you can always call the office if you have questions, or get with Mr. Clemens or Mrs. Carnes if you have any questions as well. So with that concludes our video. We thank you for joining us today. And as always, we thank you for all your tremendous support of our teachers, our staff, and just our Catholic school. I mean, we've got a really gem of a Catholic school here. We've got a great team. It's incredible to see what happens here all the time. You guys as parents are so supportive of all of us too. And so thank you for all of that. Thanks for being part of our community here. So with that, we want to say goodbye, God bless, and stay safe. Bye-bye now.